What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Super rainy outside with the combination of the wind. It is really cold, but it is not going to stop us from making progress on Project Blueberry. In the previous video, we took off to LA and we attended the USDM Super Meet, which was actually the Honda Super Meet, but nonetheless, USDM Super Meet opened up to all other make and models, and the event was a lot bigger than the last one I attended last year. We got to hang out with friends, we made a lot of new friends, and we hung out with a lot of you guys that showed up to the meet. You guys showed me so much love. It was incredible, and you guys most definitely made my trip worthwhile. And it just when you're having a good time, man, it just flies by so fast. We are back now here in the garage. I hope you guys enjoyed those videos, but today we're going to continue back here in the garage with Project Blueberry, and we're going to open this giant box that was sent over from Maxpeedingrod. Let's get to it. Meow. Chillin', bro. I'm gonna open this box right here on the floor because it is pretty heavy. Granted, there is a lot of things in here. I'm gonna go ahead and just slice it here from the top. Open a little access port. Throw you guys back up on the bench and show you guys what all we have in here. So, big shout out to Maxpeedingrod. Big thank you to Macy as well too. They've been on board with me for 3-ish years now, and they've supported all of the builds with anything that I possibly potentially need. Now with Project Blueberry, because we are keeping this very budgeted, and I know a lot of the stuff that I've used from Maxpeedingrod before has been very successful for me, they sent me a care package for everything that I'm going to be needing for Project Blueberry. So right here in this box, I just pulled it out. I have no idea what it is. It is, I have no idea. There's really no description on here, so let's go ahead and just open this one up first. Cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. Maxpeedingrod, you guys already know, link always in the description below. So this piece right here, we have it in the KRX. This right here is the Maxpeedingrod Billet K-Series shifter box. And again, I have this in the KRX. It has been working fine aside from a couple of loose bolts that Loctite fixed. And I am gonna be rocking this in the Project Blueberry because why not? Like, I love the mechanical feel of a billet shifter box. We do have the shifter lever right here with the set screws provided as well too. They also provide the Allen keys for all the set screws that are on this shifter box, and I do need to order the base plate because I completely forgot that, but we are going to be rocking the Maxpeedingrod billet shifter box. I don't think I'm going to install this today because I don't have the base plate, but this is one of the items that Maxpeedingrod sent me. You guys see me banging gears in the KRX all the time. If you guys are interested in that same shifter, link in the description below. I really don't remember what all was sent to me because this box has been sitting on the floor for several weeks now, actually. No idea what this box is. Cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. I'm just reminding you guys. Okay, so this one is the Maxpeedingrod breather catch can, and I got the cylinder style one because we are going to be keeping the battery in the factory location, so I didn't want a big square canister that sits in a battery spot. I opted with this one because this is all I really need. We're not going to try to make a ton of power with Project Blueberry, and the thing I love about this kit is that it comes with the can itself with 2 -10s right here in the front. It comes with so many different -10 fittings. We got 90s, we got 45s, we got straights in here. We do have the drain back plug, and we have, I think this is like 6 feet of -10 hoses. And the thing I like about this kit is that it is entirely murdered out. Murdered out meaning it's all black, and it's gonna work well with the engine bay of Blueberry. Last part to this kit, the filter for the can. Very budgeted, very effective. If you guys are interested in this catch can, again, link will be in the description below. Thank you, Maxpeedingrod, for using foam blocks instead of packing peanuts. This package right here also does not tell me what it is, but let's find out. Cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. Oh, okay, so this one is the idler pulley that we're gonna be using on the 24, because we're not going to be using the AC power steering delete kit this time around. This is the EP3 style idler pulley, and this bolts up to the stock factory water pump housing, and Fortunate for me, I didn't cut it off this time around, so I'm gonna have all of the provisions to use this kit. I'm really curious to see how this kit works because I've never used an EP3 idler style before. I've always used the AC power steering delete kit that mounts on the bottom of the engine, but if you guys want to find out with me, link in the description below. Okay, this big box right here is I obviously know what this one is because this was my original request. Cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. Now you guys do know that the newer chassis, the EKs, the DCs, and the EGs, the front suspension is dependent on the A-arm, the wishbone lower control arm, and it doesn't have a front cross member like the EF and DA guys do. But to help eliminate wheel hop, you want to install a traction bar. So for Project Blueberry, we're definitely going to be putting a traction bar, and this one right here is provided by Maxpeedingrod. Big shout out once again to Maxpeedingrod and Macy. Just taking a quick look at the traction bar, I like the powder coat. It's really nice. It does have some weight to it, but honestly, if it was me personally, I would prefer to have the welds on both sides. And what I mean by that is, if you look, it is welded on the outside, but it is not welded on the inside. This doesn't really bother me much because the front suspension already relies on the A-arm and not the front crossmember or front subframe. So I'm just gonna rock with it the way it is. Now, if it was for an EF or DA, I would 100% weld it inside and out. This is the front traction bar. This bolts up to the tow hook location. There are a couple of holes for different adjustability. These right here are the radius rods. There are 2 of them. It goes from the traction bar to the front lower control arm, and this is what adjusts the caster if you wanted to move the wheel more forward or backward. And in relation to the radius rod, you do have the brackets that bolts to the LCA to hold the rods into place, which are these guys here. And normally I see these in black, and these are powder coated the same color as the entire traction bar system, and that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. And as always, they do provide all of the hardware. Traction bar link is also in the description below. I do have another package right here, but I am going to be saving the unboxing for its own entire video with the install and all. So you guys already know what this box is, and hopefully we'll get to this really soon. All the parts that I unboxed with you guys are very affordable, and it fits the criteria for Project Blueberry. So if you guys are interested in any of these parts, link in the description below, and use discount code to save some money before checkout. It does help me more than you guys know. So I think the first thing I'm going to get started with is the traction bar. Got to find some bolts for the tow hook. They are specific, and these, I want to say these are it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you look, plenty to go into the frame rail. So these are the original bolts that came off the car. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up real quick, and then we'll get to the installation. Got the water drizzling right next to me, but we're still gonna be doing this. The wind is starting to pick up. Hopefully you guys can hear me. We're gonna be starting with the back half of the traction bar, which goes onto the LCA. The bracket that provides with the kit goes onto the lower control arm because this provides the provision for the radius rod heim joints to go into. And obviously you can see it has 2 bolts here, and that is supposed to bolt down into the lower control arm where the wishbone actually connects to the lower control arm. So by the looks of online pictures and a lot of other installation guides, the provisions for the radius rod right here is facing outward towards the wheel, so it's gonna have to go on something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these bolts. This right here is a 17mm nut, and this one is a 17mm bolt. I'll go ahead and just break this loose. Get the bracket on here. Go ahead and put the bolt and the nut back on. The hardware is provided with the kit. It takes 1 bolt, 1 nut with the nylon threaded insert, and 2 little spacers. I'm putting the bolt from the top because if this nut ever decided it wanted to undo itself, at least the traction bar radius rod will still hold itself into place. But if you had the bolt coming from the bottom and the nut comes off from the top, the bolt can just drop itself due to gravity, and then you lose your traction bar, your hardware, and all that stuff. So I got one of the radius rod here. It is identical on both sides. I am going to take note of this little slash right here on the body itself, and I'm going to aim that to the front. Bolt going in, one little spacer, radius rod goes on, and then put in the second spacer, and then the nylon threaded nuts. My face is really cold right now sitting on the floor, but you gotta do what you gotta do, boo-boo. The bolt and nut is a 19 mil, so I'm gonna go ahead and drive it, but I'm not gonna tighten it down just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the other side on, and hopefully I don't drown in the Amazon River flowing through right here. So I have both radius rod and the bracket installed on both sides right here, right? The reason why I did those first was because this traction bar has multiple holes for adjustability, and I wanted the rods to be in a place to see how much the rod is going to angle based off which holes I end up using. I want it to be nice and straight, so I did those first, and then we're going to connect it to the traction bar, and then we'll kind of like eyeball which holes we're going to be using on here to get the radius rod nice and straight. So on the frame rail here, there are 3 holes that have nuts welded on the back side. That's where your traction bar is going to sit. Each side uses 3 hardware, and I have them all cleaned up here. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and mock up the traction bar. I may possibly move this thing up and down a few times until I get the radius rod nice and straight, so we'll go ahead and get that installed now. Putting this traction bar up against the frame rail with the other side aligning up with the hole, you can see that this one is not going up. It looks like the traction bar is maybe a couple of millimeters off, and I'm gonna have to bend this tab in a little bit just so we can slide it up. I did kind of just bang it on the floor a little bit, a little at a time, and that seemed to work because now it goes through. By the looks of it, it only lines up with the first set of holes because the traction bar cannot go up any higher due to the radiator mounting right here, and this is the only one that I moved. This one is in its factory location, and obviously we are maxed out right there. So I guess all I can do is just put these bolts in, secure them down, and then we'll throw the radius rod onto the traction bar, and then we'll adjust the links accordingly. Grab this hardware here. With the spacers on and the bolt and nut in place, it looks like there's still a lot of gap in between. So I'm not entirely sure why it's like that, or if it's missing any hardware. At this point, there are a few different ways to go about closing up that gap. You can use washers to compensate, or you can drive the bolt and nuts completely shut to pull the tabs together. I will only recommend you shoot the bolts tight if the welds are on the inside. The tabs only have welds on the outside, and you don't really want to stress it out. I'm just going to go ahead and add some washers to compensate for the gap. All right, does not move anymore. So the traction bar fitted perfectly out of the box. I didn't really have to adjust the radius rod or the heim joints. As mentioned earlier, the front suspension relies on the A-arm right here, the wishbone. And for me, I'm just going to tighten up the radius rod without pushing or pulling the front spindle. And we'll leave that to the alignment shop. So right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and snug it up. So right here, I'm turning it just a little bit and I can feel the tension before this starts moving forward, and I'm just going to go ahead and lock it into place right there. And there you have it, Maxpeedingrod traction bar installed. A little dilemma. I was gonna install the next item, which is the Maxpeedingrod K20 idler pulley, except I just realized now that I am missing the other piece of the tensioner that this sits on. As mentioned, I'm not installing this because I don't have the base plate. Not installing the catch cam because I don't have the battery in place yet to figure out where it's going to sit and how it's going to fit. It's supposed to be somewhere right here, but again, I don't have the battery and stuff in place yet, and I also don't have the bungs for the valve cover, so I can't really sit and clock this into position until I have all of that first. This box is for a different day, and I guess the next thing I could put on to make more progress is my axles. So I do have an OE axle from the junkyard, and I bought another one the other day. So let's go ahead and just get these on so we can button up the suspension under the wheel well. Got the axles installed on both sides. This side is a little questionable. The axle is an RSX base model, which is the same that I use for my K-swap cars over there. This axle, once I threw the hub on, the spline was actually sitting inside a little bit. I had to pull it out in order to thread it and then shoot it down. But I got to figure out if the half shaft is correct. That one was the only one that was in my storage unit that was not a like K24 style, so I just grabbed it, threw it in here. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna have to figure that out later. I was gonna do the intake manifold install, but I want to wait until I figure out all the radiator and the hose situation, get all this stuff out of the way before. If you guys remember last year, I picked up a K24 bundle deal. It came with a lot of stuff for a killer price from the homie Jose, which is the guy I bought my KRX from. And the K-Tune heater hoses came with the bundle pack. So I ended up keeping the heater in the car. You guys saw in the video where we installed all the heater stuff back in, and I figured since we have it, let's go ahead and use it. You don't have to go super fancy with this brand. You can go to the parts store and grab I think it's a 5/8 or something like that. You can just get some generic hoses, some Dayco or something, or gates, and just connect the water piping to the heater core. So that is done, secured, and out of the way. I can't feel my face right now. It is super cold. It's been raining all morning. The wind is blowing. I'm wearing shorts. I don't know why, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any more as of right now. We've made some good progress already with installing some of the Maxpeeding product, like the traction bar right there. This gives me a better idea of what I need to order, and I'm going to call some of my guys right now to get some stuff on the way. So if you guys saw in the previous video, we went down to LA to attend a car meet. But before that, we hung out with a bunch of friends and stuff. And my friends actually had a car meet of their own going on. And while I was there, I was like, hey guys, let's do a quick little pop-up meet in collaboration with them. And a lot of you guys came out. I forgot this person's name. He's always in my live stream. And he had told me last week that if I was headed down there, he's got a few things for me. So he came to the meet, he met me, we chopped it up, and he was like, yo, before I take off, I got something for you. He provided me this bag here. You probably can't see it, but let's go through it together. He hooked it up with an HKS blow-off valve. This thing is freaking awesome. I loved it. When I first boosted the CRX all-wheel drive, this was the first blow-off valve I threw on it, and eventually I swapped over to my tile one when I changed the turbo setup, but I still have mine somewhere. But this is definitely going to come in clutch for all the projects to come, because you guys already know there's going to be more projects coming this year. He also gave me some GST DSM injectors. These are like a black top, and we both don't know if they are 440s or 550s, but I'm gonna get them flow tested by yours truly, Nomis Industries, and see where they sit so we can know what they are to use them in a future budget build, because you know me, I like being cheap. But these DSM injectors have worked perfectly in a lot of the cars you've seen here on the channel, so I'm definitely going to keep this around. He gave me another item which is already on the car, so I'm going to show you guys that real quick. He told me that he works at a JDM importing shop, and all of this stuff he acquired came from engines that showed up. He hooked it up with a spoon oil cap, and he said this is authentic. It came off a JDM K20 Type R. So while we were at the meet, I was like, you know what, I think it'll look good with all the silver going on here in the engine bay, and that is right there installed. He also gave me 2 Hot Wheels for my collection, which I actually already hung in my room, so can't really show you that because your boy ain't trying to like run all the way over there. But I want to give a big shout out to you, man. Thank you very much for these gifts, and you already know I'm gonna put everything to use when the time comes. Another subscriber showed up to the car meet with his daughter, and he is also in my live stream on Instagram as well. I want to say his name is Osbald, if I remember correctly, but he was like, I know you work underneath the car a lot. Obviously, I work in the dark a lot, and he was like, I want to hook you up with a headlamp, 350 lumens headlamp. This takes 3 AAA batteries, which I have. Those are AA. I have in the house that I'm gonna probably hook it all up and make use of this, because sometimes it gets really annoying to like mount one of these and not get light shining where you need to see. So I appreciate this right here. And also in part of this, he also hooked it up with a Wartech pocket knife, and it says rainbow on here. We opened it up. I want to say it was like kind of neochrome. Is it neochrome? Is that the right word here? Neochrome or something like that. But it is a pocket knife, because he knows that I always carry my razor blade with me, man. People who take note, I appreciate y'all for real. Like, he hooked it up with this. I mean, this is great for like when I go camping, when I go fishing, or anywhere else that I may potentially need a pocket knife. I truly do appreciate this, man. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for even coming out. He came with his daughter as well too, so that was freaking awesome to see. But I want to appreciate y'all for real. Like, thank you guys for coming out, everybody who showed up to that meet that night. And oh look, it has a glass breaker on it too. That's cool. Last package right here came from my buddy Jonathan and his oldest son. They are both subscribers to the channel, and he's always sending me videos, as well as his wife sending me videos of his son watching my videos every time he'd hear my voice. It's so freaking awesome to see. You guys have no idea, man. Like, that puts a big smile to my face. Start him young, man. Start him young. So, ooh, wow. Jonathan told me that he wanted to send something to me that he has not seen on the channel, and that I may potentially be able to use this like once a week. So Right here we have a Noco Genius 1, 6 volt and 12 volt. What is this? Charger? Yeah, it's a charger. Charger plus interchangeable connector. It plugs into your outlet and then you just hook it up to your battery and let it charge. This is awesome. Actually, I've never seen anything like this before. Maybe I've just been sleeping under a rock all this time, but Jonathan, man, I truly do appreciate it, bro. I always got a lot of dead batteries for the cars that don't drive as often, and this will come in clutch to charging right back up. I haven't heard a freaking iPhone text noise in a long time because my phone has been dead silent forever. I want to thank everybody who takes the time to send anything to the P.O. Box. I truly do appreciate y'all support for real. And everybody else too, like nobody's obligated to send me anything. But I do truly thank you guys so much for everything and all the support through all these years that we've been here on the channel. I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. So we're going to wrap up the video right here, guys. We made some progress update on Project Blueberry, and we did the Maxpeedingrod traction bar install, which I'm pretty sure is the same for the Del Sol. If you guys are looking for the same traction bar, link in the description below. Big shout out to Maxpeedingrod once more, guys. If you are looking for anything for your vehicle and you're surfing through their website and you put something in your cart, be sure to use discount code YSTATIC to save 10% off before your checkout. Also remember, progress is better than no progress. So if you guys enjoyed today's progress update on Project Blueberry, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for more parts installation onto the vehicle, a lot of this stuff is probably going to have its own video, give or take. But if you guys want to see all of that, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.